Hey guys, Keys101 here with another episode of NBA Talk. I know I've been slacking lately with my videos, but I'm back with this series and the Black Ops COD series, which I started yesterday. This series really is just talk about recent news in the NBA and also upcomings and maybe the sports world in general. I don't know what I'm going to do about football and baseball, but this is mostly just for the NBA. In this video, we're really going to discuss the draft, of course, free agency, trade rumors that are swirling around, and also the use of social media in sports and how that's actually opened the gates for a lot of things that fans weren't open to before. So in this game, I do a 3-on-3 between the two big threes in the NBA, Rondo, Pierce, and Garnett versus Wade, James, and Bosh. Just to do something different than a regular 5-on-5, which I normally do, versus East and West All-Stars. So this is very interesting if you want to watch it. It's a pretty good game. But starting off, I want to talk about the NBA draft. And it seems as though early on in the season there was a lot of talk of this is going to be the deepest draft in NBA history. There's so many All-Stars coming out right away. So many great starters, guys are going to be coming out ready to play. So good, so great. You have guys like Anthony Davis, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Thomas Robinson, Bradley Beal. All these guys coming out of college, and they're ready to play. So many analysts were saying this is going to be the deepest draft. Anthony Davis was the next Shaq. Different stuff. So as the year went on, and we learned more information about what was going to happen, there was still talk, but then it died down. And now there are different analysts saying the draft is not as deep as many people believe. So you wonder, well, why not? And it's because a lot of the players that are going to be in the draft may have a hard time adjusting to the NBA life, or they were overhyped in college. And you got guys like Thomas Robinson, who was okay in college, pretty good. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist has proved what he's worth. Anthony Davis, of course. But then you have other guys who start getting long. Perry Jones, Sullinger, guys that you might not be too sure about if you want to pick them up for your team. And that's where it got a little tricky, especially with mock drafts, because after the top three, hell, even with the top three, there was still some uncertainty of who should go after Anthony Davis. And now it's, after the top three, where do you go? Who's next? Especially with draft day trades, people making different moves. What happens? Who goes next? You don't know. So I think this draft, it's going to be pretty different. It's going to be something we haven't seen in a while. There's going to be a lot of moving up and moving down between teams, a lot of trades. And you should be on the lookout because this year, there's no really mock draft to go to. Every writer has a different one. So it's not like NFL where, the top 25 picks, you already know who's going to be picked, pretty much. This one it could be anybody, depending on the team that gets the pick. It can change any second. So it'll be very interesting, and, keep an eye out for that on Thursday night. I don't know when this video is going to go up, so Thursday night at around 8, I believe, is when the draft starts. And even before that, NBA TV, the 2000 Draft Talk, it's going to be all day long with trades, updates, everything. So I'm definitely going to be watching that all day and checking out some other writers and blogs and stuff. So check it out. Second topic is free agency. And this is also in regards to the draft in a way. One team that has been doing a lot recently with trading is Houston. And there are different theories out there for people who believe, what's going to happen to Houston? What are they doing with their moves? So it's going to be a little different for people who have never really experienced, the draft before, NBA draft. You are never really paying attention to it. So it's going to be something that you've never seen before when you're not really used to the draft. Because Houston, what they've been doing is they've been trading for a lot of picks. So one trade they have here is they have traded Samuel Dalembert to the Milwaukee Bucks for the 12th pick, Sean Livingston, John Lure, I don't know how to say it, I'm sorry, and John Brockman. And what this does is it gives Houston the 12th, 16th, and 18th picks in the draft. Now you may say, well, 12th, 16th, and 18th, oh, that's nothing. They're not even in the top 10. Yeah, that's true, but they're not done yet. They're not done. They still have Kyle Lowry. They still have Luis Scola. They still have, and they still have these picks. They can do anything between now and tomorrow night. They can do anything. You know, you don't know what's going to happen. There's rumors out there they want Dwight Howard from the Magic. They could put a package together with those 3 picks, Scola, Lowry. Who knows what they'll do? I don't know. I'm a little interested to see what they're going to do with these picks, because are they going to use their picks? It seems as though they want to move into the top 10, so I think maybe they're going to package all the picks together, maybe along with Scola or Lowry, and then send them to a team. I heard they were in talks with Sacramento about doing that. So, you know, it goes back to the whole idea of this draft, because there are a lot of talks about teams wanting to get rid of their picks for proven players, because they don't think this draft is as deep as everyone is saying. And that might be true for some people, might not be true for others. But some GMs are dying to get rid of their picks, like the Bobcats. They didn't get the number 1 pick, they want to get rid of the number 2 pick. Michael Jordan has already made that known. He does not want the number 2 pick. He wants proven players. And maybe they can work some deal out with Houston or another team that wants a pick in the top 5 and really, really, really needs a star. You got teams out there like Phoenix. You got teams that fell by the wayside, Washington, Cleveland. Maybe these teams are looking to move up as well in order to get their next star or addition to a star they already have, and who they really, really need in order to make it to the playoffs, or even go deep into the playoffs. Or just build over. So back to the rumor about Dwight Howard, the package that they're going to send, it will include picks and of course, probably maybe some players. I don't know how they're going to do it. But the question remains, will Dwight Howard re-sign with the Houston Rockets if they trade for him? And apparently Dwight's camp has told the Houston Rockets that they will not re-sign if he trades for him. But Houston believes they can persuade Dwight. And that's something that a lot of people are trying to look at, because Dwight has been known as a flip-flopper in the league ever since his decision to opt in on March 15th with the Orlando Magic, instead of being traded or just waiting till free agency to do whatever he wanted to do. But I don't think his agent, Dan Fagan, will let him resign with Houston if he indeed wants Brooklyn. As a lot of people are saying, he wants to be Darren Williams, wants to be in Brooklyn. If that's the case, then Dwight needs to just say it, and he needs to make sure that he does not punk out again and resign with Houston if he's traded there. Personally, I don't know if that's true. I don't think he will resign with Houston. I think he'll probably just stay in Orlando until the trade deadline again this year, but we'll see. Another subject I wanted to talk about also was, social media and the NBA. Now, I used to just stay on Facebook a lot and get my news from ESPN, and other people tell them and stuff. But then I discovered something called Twitter. Now, of course, everybody knows what Twitter is. But if you have never really experienced something like Twitter before, or you've never actually, seen sports news traveling so fast, it's amazing how fast word gets out. Like, you watch ESPN and you think, wow, ESPN is so fast. I didn't hear about this trade all day. Yeah, because you don't have a Twitter. You don't follow sports news like that. So, you think it's fast. But if you go on Twitter and you see, a sports writer, let's say Alex Kennedy, he writes a report, Houston has traded this for that. An hour later, ESPN will get the story, and you're like, wow, this is so fast, but in reality, the story was out an hour earlier on Twitter, and everybody knows about it before you. So, Twitter is awesome, and I follow mostly sports writers, Chris Broussard, Alex Kennedy, John Schumann, John Hollinger, Chad Ford, guys like that, and I just get their insight on different things. A lot of people post rumors early, from sources, and it's really exciting, especially around this time of year. So, you'll see a lot of different things happening between now and later. And if you're on Twitter, I suggest you get on Twitter. You don't even have to tweet anything. Just follow sports writers, see what their opinions are, see what's happening, and then maybe you will know more about the sports world than you know right now. Also, I really started listening to ESPN Radio. that's really interesting, something that I didn't before, and you get a lot of perspective on the radio from the media that you probably wouldn't have gotten before. And especially living in like the New York metropolitan area, the media is always flowing. Everything's always going on. So, you find out new things every day. One of my final topics I want to talk about is in regards to the current state of the NBA and the affairs of officiating and other things that irk me. So, in the Miami-Oklahoma City series, we saw a lot of different things. By the way, congrats to LeBron and the Miami Heat. Next video, I will definitely talk about more about that series and what I thought. But we saw a lot of iffy calls. And I know many people believe there's no way you can truly, dictate what calls should be made and what calls shouldn't be made. It's all in the views of the referee that makes the calls. But there are some things that I didn't like, and I think David Stern to truly address. First of all, flopping has become an issue which many people don't like in the NBA. I certainly don't like it. I think it's a cheap out for a lot of people to get calls. But hey, soccer, they do it all the time, and it's worse than soccer. But NBA, it's bad because, you could just flop and you get the call, and that's that. The other guy, who probably didn't do anything wrong, won't get the call, and you could ruin a whole team's momentum. You could take the guy out of the game if he's in foul trouble. Anything could happen with that. So that's why I think if there's a flop, if the referee sees a flop and it looks like a flop, and you don't see contact, don't call it. Just make it a no call. Don't call a blocking foul. Don't call an offensive foul. Just make a no call. Then the game can continue and other people can make plays. Don't stop the game for one guy. That's all. I'm just saying I don't think that's fair to the fans or to the players. And David Stern has already said he will get on top of that and make sure that doesn't happen anymore. But see, that's the thing. You can't set rules for that. It's just what the referees see and how they dictate the game, how they officiate. And if I'm a referee and I see a flop, if I see a guy, put his finger on the guy's nose and the guy flicks his head back, I'm not going to call. That's a no call to me. I'm not calling that. I'm just going to let the game go. And I saw a lot of that during the Miami-Oklahoma City series, and I just thought that's why the series did not live up to the hype that it was supposed to, because the refs got in the way a lot of the time. But that's for another video. My final topic, actually, is something else that I kind of wanted to address in the NBA, and that's this superstar stacking, which has gone on. Miami was an example of it that recently that has worked, or at least is working right now because they just won a championship. But Boston did it as well, and it worked. But back then, you see, Boston had good competition. They had the Lakers to contend with, and of course, when they faced the Lakers, they did not win all the time. So, it works both ways. But here's the thing that I have a problem with. You get these guys in the league who considerably hold the team hostage, you can say, and they tell the team, if you don't do this, I'm leaving, or these ridiculous demands, and the team must abide by them. So if you are a free agent and you are looking to sign with a team, you can tell a team to make any ridiculous demand that you want. You can say, trade this guy for that guy, or I'm not signing with you. And the team's going to have to do it. They're going to have to try something, or they won't be able to do it. To me, is that the state we are in the NBA right now? I guess so. You have teams just stacking up, playing each other, doing whatever they want, and getting away with it. And to me, I don't like that. I don't think that's fair at all for people in the NBA who have worked hard. These teams with probably one superstar, not even a superstar, just a star on their team. Houston, Utah, those guys like that who don't have all-star, superstar guys on their teams. It's just not fair to me. But anyway, guys, this is Keista 101. I'm going to let the video continue out, and you can see the end of the game. Actually, the game's almost over, pretty much. But I'm going to let the video play out, and I'll see you guys at the next episode of this series, which should be very interesting, and I'll talk about a lot more topics. If you have anything you'd like me to discuss, put it in the comments. Hit me with a tweet at Keista101, same as the name. And next video should be out about next week, guys. Also, continue the Black Ops and COD series coming up. And have a good game, guys. Have a good day, and enjoy some NBA. See ya.
keep pouring it on. Yeah, your health is not my concern.